Good afternoon. So I'm going to talk about our dictionary, Tezaurs.lv. What is it? It is by far the largest Latvian electronic dictionary. It has more than 400,000 entries, and among them are more than 71,000 entry of multi-word expressions. The dictionary is compiled from many prior sources, dictionaries, databases, all the printed dictionaries in Latvian history, and so on. It's constantly being supplemented, revised, improved, and so on. For now, it works like a hub for all kind of lexicographic information with different links between entries and so on. And in this study or experiment we address the very diverse group of multi-word entries in this dictionary, as information comes from so many different sources. As different as the sources are these entries of more than one word. Yeah, during the last 2 years, not all the years, but in some weeks of these years, we have been manually arranging this big amount of data in smaller, more uniform groups. Of course, there are very many definitions of what a multi-word expression is. Yesterday, we could hear most part of them, but for us, as it was not a problem for us to extract or choose these expressions because they were in kind given to us. We had many of them. Maybe some of them we like better, some not so good, but okay, we have as a set of data already. So we adapted very practical for us and simple definition, the last one. Multi-word expression, it is a lemma in a dictionary that is made up of more than one orthographic word. So it's quite easy to distinguish for us what is and what is not multi-word expression for this our purpose. Why we did that I think it's quite understandable, because we had very great amount of data in, let's say, one category, and there was everything, and still is: terms, phraseological units, different proper names, conjunctions of more than one word, and so on. Really very different company. And of course, we already see gains of it. For our dictionary users, of course, these entries now have become more easy to understand, to read. There are some additional information. And for us, for lexicographers, it's also there are some groups to work with further. And finally, we have some idea what do we have. Because before, okay, yes, we have some terms, some idioms, something, but we didn't have a clear idea how many. And really, is it hundreds or thousands or what? Now we have already some idea. How did we do that? We have a group of linguists at our institute with different backgrounds, different expertise, different everything. Then we invented, let's say, a list of possible subgroups of these multi-word expressions and some criteria for distinguishing them. Then we created very simple tool for classifying these things into database and just try to do and just to see what happens. The tool looks like that. There are given for the annotator list of multi-word expression with definition. It's just expression, definition, for some of them some additional information if there is like discipline where the term is used, or is it colloquial or what. And these letters correspond to groups where they are sent to. So if we push the button, then this multi-word expressions goes to terms or idioms or somewhere. Yeah, no, it's just one entry in our dictionary. Jūra, it means sea. There is first meaning, something, example, and then a lot of multi-word expressions. And okay, I won't translate even it. Just we can see that after every expression, we have some word, tag, and it means, is it collocation or term or taxon or something? It's not for users visible already now. What groups did we invent? First one, it's multi-word terms like active voice in linguistics or rhesus factor in medicine and so on. So terms consisting of more than one word. Then we have very many proper names in our dictionary, mostly place names, but not only. For example, Baltic Sea, Papa Village, and so on. Then, as a separate group, we decided to make taxonomic group names. It's biology, all about species and gentes and so on. They can be both Latin-based or Latvian, because just we have very many them in the dictionary, and for us it seemed it's quite easy to distinguish, so let it be a separate group. And then linguistically, for us, most interesting group, it's phraseological units. In Latvian tradition, we divide them into phrasemes and idioms. I will, in more detail, tell about next slide. And the rest was just collocation, where for us, collocation is just a fixed word combination with no semantic reinterpretation. But somebody has put it in the dictionary, so we have it. In practice, this category includes most of the multi-word expressions that didn't fit in other categories. And okay, it's some future work to distinguish them further. Okay, phraseological units. Okay, all of us know what they are, but they usually are expected to comply with some fundamental criteria. They are more or less fixed, consist of multiple words, and they possess some degree of metaphorical meaning. And in Latvia, yeah, we have strong tradition to divide them further. Phraseme in idiom, by the divisibility semantic. Phraseme, it is multi-word expression where at least one of its components retain its normal sense, and idiom when none of the constituents are used in their literal normal sense. So the idiom as a whole means something entirely different than the words. Examples: caurs miegs, it means poor, bad quality sleep, but literally translating, it's like leaky sleep or sleep with the holes. You see sleep, it still means the sleep, but this word caurs, leaky, has nothing to do with quality outside of this expression. Also, slinks kā mais, it means lazy as a bag. Not lazy, it is lazy, but bag has nothing to do with very lazy. But idiom, karāties mata galā, literally it means to hang by the end of the hair, somewhere here. And it means to be in the dangerous situation. Of course, the meaning doesn't follow from the components. And also to do something ar gariem zobiem, by long teeth, it means to do something unwillingly. And so we also in our classification try to separate these two things into two separate subgroups. What did we get at the end? So in our dictionary, the biggest group was of these complex terms. Then came multi-word place names, some other proper names also among them, but not very many. Then very big group. There are taxonomic group names. Then our favorite group, phraseological units, is not that big, but big enough. And we see that idioms in the dictionary is more than phrasemes. And there are some cases where we can't really tell what is it. And then we have some 3,000 of other collocations. And as usual, some part 5,000 of it is not still classified for different reasons. Of course, in real life, nothing is that easy. As you saw, our division is based on different criteria because our aim was to make groups which won't be difficult to distinguish, though maybe the criteria can be different. And so criteria are figurativeness, phraseological units should be figurative, while collocations not. Then by functions of use, so terms are used in specific discipline with specific meaning and so on, and simply by theme, let's say, because taxonomic units all belong to the biology. As every classification here also we have borderline cases, so expressions which could be sorted into more than one category. Terms and taxonomic group names can also be figurative, but still they are not classified as phraseological units. Also, collocations sometimes can have some degree of figurativeness, and then there's question when it's figurative enough to be phraseologism and when not. And this division between phrasemes and idioms in practice not always is easy to do, though it's here about that. In practice, this definition, at least one of the components retains its literal sense, is not always clear enough, because we very soon got question, should this literal sense should it be the basic sense of the component, or can it be some secondary sense, or what? Because if we take all the senses that is in dictionary, then almost all the phraseological units becomes phrasemes, but our intuition says that it's not good at all. So in future, we think that we should add something more to this definition, at least that the sense should be direct. So the future work in this part of classification is to think about once more about this classification of phraseological units or criteria for distinguishing them. Then there are already mentioned borderlines between terms or taxonomic units and phraseological units. So, for example, taxon, apšu kundziņš, it's a mushroom. Literally means aspen, a tree. Yeah, Lord, it's such a beautiful idiom, but still it's taxon and term, and yeah. So in these cases, we decided that functional criterion comes first, and if it's a term, then it's classified as term, not regarding its figurativeness. And the same is with different other term. Ausgliemene, it is that part of the air, and literally it means air clam or air snail, but yeah, it still is regarded as term, not as a phraseme. Also, borderline cases between phraseological units and collocations. Yeah, multiple word unit was classified as a collocation if all of its components was used in the sense that we can find in dictionary. Again, there is some questions about in which sense, but all the same. But we have examples, as yesterday it was mentioned, like phone book. It was similar the example that has some certain degree of figurativeness, but it's fading. Many language users no more feel it as meaning transfer. For example, good eyes with meaning good vision, of course. But is it phraseme? Maybe not. So, and also celt trauksmi, it means to raise the alarm, meaning to make the alarm. Okay, yes, there is some meaning transfer maybe used to be, but these are so often used expressions, so we don't feel it anymore as like phraseme, and so these were tagged as collocations. And as we know, some phrases can be used both as idioms and collocations in different meanings. For example, atmesta roku, it's wave one's hand, and we can mean really a gesture when I say no or go somewhere. Then it's literal meaning and collocation, and it can mean also to stop doing something or abandon something where there is no gesture, and then it's idiom. And the same is grozīt galvu, it's like that, turn head. And when it's literary, when I say no, it's collocation, but it can mean also to think very hard, very intensely, without any gesture, and then it's idiom. In these cases, we have possibility to assign two meanings of the phrase, and then both tags are put there. So, conclusions. The multi-word expression classification created so far, we think is a very good first step for semantically functional systematization of all these multi-word expressions that we have in Tezaurs. Of course, just first step. Some borderline cases and overlapping of groups, I guess, are inevitable. Various level of figurativeness complicate sometimes the distinction between categories, but nevertheless, we for now have some more or less clear groups, terms, taxa, also proper names that are taken away as more or less ready groups. And then we have two more diverse groups, phraseological units and collocations that needs further classification, further research, but now we have more uniform groups to work with further without this noise of terms and proper names and so on. So, thank you.